Hey guys, and welcome to the Dota 2 how-to guide for playing Beastmaster. This is a quick guide to give an overview of Beastmaster's skills and some item suggestions, skill build, and tips on how to play him overall. Beastmaster for the most part is played as a solo hard laner, but can also be good in mid. He's a strength hero who starts with 23 strength, 18 agi, and 16 int, and gains 2.2, 1.6, and 1.9 respectively. This gives him a solid level of health and a good mana pool to use his abilities once he's leveled up a few times. While Beastmaster himself doesn't have the best escape potential, he's played solo lane a lot due to his hard gank nature and great counter pushing skills. Beastmaster's first skill is Wild Axes. This causes Beastmaster to throw two axes in an arc pattern in front of him. The axes will travel a distance of 1,300 where they will meet and then return along their curves back to Beastmaster. The axes will deal 90 to 180 damage and each axe can hit an enemy once, meaning a potential total damage of 180 to 360. The ability has a cooldown of 13 seconds and a mana cost of 120 at all ranks. Wild Axes is a great utility skill as it both grants vision of the axes as they travel and will destroy trees, allowing for quick creation of new chase routes. His second ability is Call of the Wild. This will summon a hawk and a boar depending on rank for between 60 and 90 seconds. The huge use of this ability is what makes Beastmaster a great solo lane hero. The hawk, as of level 3, has the ability to be invisible if it is not moving. It grants a fairly large level of vision, which means you can play him as a mobile, cheap, reusable ward, really. It makes sure that you can't get ganked very easily, and the boar summon gives you both a ranged attack to harass with, and allows you to escape as the boar's attacks provide a 20 to 35% move and attack speed slow, meaning that you are very hard to kill with these animals though. The ability has a short cooldown of 40 seconds and a tiny mana cost of only 25. His third ability is a passive skill, Inner Beast. This grants all allies in a 1000 radius an attack speed boost of 18 to 40, and while that's not the biggest boost in the world, it will affect all allies you're near, and it's always. And it really helps out in team fights later on. His ultimate is Primal Roar. This is a 600 range ability that will stun the target for 3 to 4 seconds and will knock all enemies beside the target away from him to clear a path for Beastmaster to really put some hurt on the guy. The ability will slow the other enemies by 50% both for move and attack speed for 2 to 4 seconds, and the ability will deal 200 to 300 damage. This is a huge ability that can really mess up team fights, as it can potentially slow the entire enemy team by 50% except for the one person that you totally lock down with a stun. The stun will go through BKB, but the entire ability will be blocked if the main target has Lincolns up. So really look out for who you cast that on. The ability has a cooldown of 80 to 70 seconds and a mana cost of 150 to 200 and is upgradable to lower cooldown and increase range by Aghanim Scepter. Item wise, for Beastmaster offlane, I would recommend starting with the Tango, Clarity, Gauntlets of Strength and Wards. The reason for Wards is to block the enemy pole camp for the other team. Now, beyond this, look at progressing into Power Treads, Soul Ring, Urn of Shadows, and Ring of Health. These are all fairly cheap items that an offlane Beastmaster should be able to farm up fairly solidly. Looking into progressing into the late game, items such as a Pipe of Insight, Heaven's Halberd, Vlad's Blink Dagger, Aghanim Scepter, or Shiva's Guard, and items along those lines like Necronomicon and everything are great items. This is because Beast has a good strength gain, and with the Heaven's Halberd and stuff like that, his potential for fighting or escaping from most situations becomes huge. Skill-wise, taking axes at 1, 3, 5, and 7 gives you huge counter-pushing and farming potential, while also allowing you to keep a safe distance. Take Call of the Wild at 2, 4, 8, and 9. This is because the first few levels you've got their pole camp warded, meaning that the Invis Hawk isn't the most essential thing, but it can be worth getting fairly early as you can use it as a mobile ward throughout the whole game. Taking Inner Beast at 10, 12, 13, and 14 because this is around the time where team fights are going to be breaking out a lot. So starting to get that boost around now and really helping your team with attack speed is great. You want to take your ult whenever possible and stats when you have to. In regards to general play with him, you're going to want to rush out of base as fast as possible to go ward the pole camp while it's safe. While this does mean warding before any creep have spawned, observers last 5 minutes, so it'll be there for a fair while, and you get 2 in a stack so you can reward a little later. If you're going to want to deny creep as best as possible, only taking last hits when you can safely do so to avoid kind of getting caught out with a stun or dying. And if the lane is getting too pushed, throwing a wild axes can really help push it back to stop them reaching the tower. Hawk-wise, you can place the Hawk where it can see the rune to act as a free ward, or use it for scouting their jungle to make sure you're not getting ganked and find out where their supports are. Use the boar to harass the enemy carry and help with last hits. You're going to want to leave lane every minute though. This is because you're going to want to go to the Ancients and throw wild axes into their camp at about the 54-second mark to allow them time to react and walk out to stack the camp. This is because wild axes actually damages Ancients, so can be used to farm Ancients while farming lane, which can be hugely beneficial to your game as it'll increase your farm and gold massively. Teamfight wise and out of lane, you'll usually want to ult the carry or the big AoE damage support. This is because killing the carry is incredibly useful, but carries can often have Lincolns or some other method to survive, such as high dodge chance and stuff like that. And in such cases, killing off the huge AoE damage support like Sand King or something can be a lot more useful, because it'll remove a huge AoE sort of thing that'll cause your team to have to split, so you can really kind of cluster more and focus down the enemy carry. I hope you guys have enjoyed this guide to Beastmaster, and I hope you have found some useful info here. If you have, please remember to leave a like and a comment, and subscribe for more guides. If you have any tips or suggestions of your own, leave a comment too so people can see them, and thanks for watching guys, see you next time.